It's about that time, 10 a.m. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Glad to be with you guys on a Thursday morning. And quick shout out to Thin Lizzy because the boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Dun, dun. Boys are back in town. Dun, dun. Quick shout out to Thin Lizzy because the boys are back in town. It's nice to have, cornerback, one of the best defensive slot corners in the NFL, and K'Wan Williams. It's great to have K'Wan Williams back in the red and gold. And I can't wait to see him and the rest of, Jimmy Ward, Jaquiski Tart. All we missing is Sherm. And I feel like Sherm would, I feel like he's still a solid player. I don't know. He might be looking to break the bank on on the last contract. But it's definitely good to have K'Wan Williams back. But the question I have for you the question I have for you, 49er fans, is, is a 49er secondary complete? I think we got the two projected starters in Verrett and Mosley. And then we got, K'Wan will be in the slot. So it's a 49er secondary complete. But as you guys answer that question in the comments, this is a show for the 49er fans. And make sure you guys leave your thoughts in the comments section. First, I got to give a shout out to Evan Gaming. What's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream. And looks like Niners all day 55. What's good? Thanks for coming through, man. Thanks for rocking with me this morning. 49ers Ultimate Report. Thanks for coming through. Great content. Keep it up, man. And thanks for coming in. I appreciate you guys all coming through. CG, thanks for coming through, man. We're going to link up on a stream together in the future. But thanks for coming through, man. In the near future, we're going to link up, CG. Don't you worry. Real talk, Niner talk. What's good? Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you coming through to the stream. And, I wanted to talk about that 49ers defensive secondary, man. Do y'all think it's complete? Do you think that the 49ers will try to get more corners in the free agency this year? I think we're pretty good at the cornerback spot in free agency. I think we might get someone. We definitely will get another corner in the draft, whether it be high in the first round or in the later drafts. But that's a fact. We're definitely going to get younger at the cornerback spot. So, K'Wan, he did struggle a little bit, last year. He had the injuries, but can the 49ers secondary recreate that magic that we had in 2019? That's what's going to be the key, with the pass rush. Obviously, we're without Buckner, but we got Kinlaw and DJ Jones to, replicate some of his stats that he had. Bosa's coming off the torn ACL. We'll see about him. D Ford, I saw a report actually on Real Talk Niner Talk on the Facebook page. I saw a report of D Ford. Looks like he is running and he's working out at the 49ers facility. So, that's a good sign. Hopefully D Ford can stay healthy. I think at this point in D Ford's career, due to his, his injury history, that he's no longer a 3-down defensive end. If D Ford could just come in and, be like a pass rush specialist, play about 15 to 20 downs a game. I think at this point of his career, that's all we can really ask of D Ford. But, we'll see what happens. But looks like Niners All Day 55 says, I don't think it's complete quite yet, but we are getting super close. Yeah, I feel the same way, man. It's really close, but can we replicate the 2019 success we had in the secondary where, we had one of the better secondaries in the NFL. And, also we had one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. So we'll see what happens. What's good? Enjoy my world. Represent them good old ATL Falcons. Thanks for coming through. Yep. Falcons all day. That's funny. But yeah, I think our secondary is solid. With Verrett, Mosley, Tart, Ward. I think our secondary is solid. I think, what do you guys think? Do you think we have, the best secondary in the NFC West? Obviously with the Rams, you got Jalen Ramsey. With the Cardinals, they let go of Pat Peterson. I'm not sure off the top of my head who the Cardinals starting corners are. And then the Seahawks, they got Akello Witherspoon starting. And they didn't re-sign, their star corner, Shaquille Griffin. I think he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I think it's safe to say Rams and Niners probably got the best, secondary in the NFC West. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey, he's best corner in the NFC West, probably the best corner in the NFL. So, we'll see about that. Looks like CG says we'll likely draft best available. Yeah, we'll see what happens because, Lynch has, traded down multiple times in the draft. That's part of his draft history. I've seen mock drafts where we could go, right tackle to be the future right tackle to eventually replace McGlinchey. We could go corner. Some people, they out of their mind saying going quarterback and all that, but I don't know about that. I don't know if we should get a quarterback high in the first round. If we did, now I can't lie. What would be intriguing is if we got a quarterback like in the first 3 picks of the draft. Like that would be intriguing. I can't lie. Like that would be intriguing if we got a quarterback in the first 3 picks of the draft, because obviously those are the best quarterbacks available. But the top 3 to 4 teams, they could be getting a quarterback. They're projected to select a quarterback, except for the Dolphins. Looks like they might get a wide receiver, but who knows if they're sold on Tua or not. But looks like Real Talk Niner Talk says we got a few dollars. Why not strengthen that secondary? Yeah, I mean, we already re-signed Mosley, Verrett, and we re-signed with Tavon Wilson and also Jaquiski Tart. So I guess if we do sign someone else in the secondary in free agency, it will probably be just for depth purposes, like another corner that's for depth purposes, but not like an elite corner. I don't think we'll be re-signing a elite corner at this point in free agency. Now, who I do think we should sign, or at least a position group, we definitely need to get a vet wide receiver and I would say a veteran edge rusher for sure, because we don't know. D4 is looking solid now, but we'll see what happens when the pads come on. It looks like 49ers Ultimate Report. Yeah, that's the name that everyone's talking about, J.C. Horn. 49ers should look at J.C. Horn. It's interesting about Horn because maybe a month or 2 ago, he was projected to be a top 10 pick. And when I look at the latest mock drafts, he's not even projected to be drafted in the top 10 for some reason. So I don't know, how he fell out of favor. I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, if Horn is available at pick 12 for us, yeah, we should definitely scoop up Horn for sure. But speaking of corners, what helps the secondary is the pass rush. And I'm sure this is all old news, but I didn't get to talk about that much. But Kerry Hyder, he had an excellent year with the Niners. He had a breakout season, 8 sacks, and he was able to parlay that into a multi-year contract with the hated rival Seattle Seahawks. Come on, Kerry. You had to go to the Seahawks, but I'm glad, Kerry, got his money. Can't be mad at that. And but yeah, it sucks that he went to the Seahawks, but it'd be interesting to see him 2 times a year against the Seahawks, and he could be lined up against Trent, or he could be lined up against McGlinchey. So that'd be interesting. But as far as our defensive ends, we got Ford. We'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he'll just come and be a productive pass rusher in passing situations. You got Bosa. Bosa's coming off that ACL injury. And we'll see what happens with him. You don't want to push him too much, but we'll see what happens with Bosa. We got Samson Ebukam. We signed him from the LA Rams. He played outside linebacker there, but it looks like he's going to be playing the defensive end on the 49ers. But he could do both. He could play defensive end. He could play outside linebacker. He can rush the passer. He could drop back in coverage. We also re-signed Jordan Willis, who should be a solid, depth signing. And then we still have Kentavious Street. I think we drafted him in 2018 draft. And then, of course, we got Zach Kerr and then Armstead. So we have, we have players definitely on the defensive end. And I still think we should get another DN because, you don't know the status of Ford and you don't want to really push Bosa. But we'll see what happens in the free agency. Of course, I'm interested in the free agency. Justin Houston, Ryan Kerrigan, and Carlos Dunlap. Those are the 3 defensive ends I was looking at. So hopefully Lynch kicks the tires on those players and see what they're asking for. Looks like Darth Starkiller. Thanks for coming through to the stream. First time I've seen you on. He says, love the starters. Hopefully we also have the depth for the whole season. Yeah, that was the thing last year. Great point was, we had players, but, our depth was definitely tested. And that was definitely an issue last year with the Niners. But we'll see. Hopefully Ford can start the season healthy. Hopefully Bosa can start the season healthy as well. I mean, he should be on track. But, if those 2 guys aren't available, then I guess you got Armstead starting on one side and then possibly Zach Kerr starting on the other side or, I would say either Armstead or maybe even Kentavious Street. We'll see what happens on that end. That's why I say we should get another edge rusher. Or maybe Samson Buchan will start on that other defensive end spot. That's possible as well. Looks like CG Ruthless says, I would like to draft Asante Samuel Jr. To replace Williams' spot. He's a really good player, hopefully in the second round. Yeah, so I guess if we get, a corner in the second round, then I guess our first round pick would be, like you said, CG, like the best player available. But we'll see what happens in the draft. It's very intriguing because the 49ers could go a lot of different ways. They could trade back, which Lynch has no problem doing. They could draft, like you said, the best player available. They could trade up. Who knows? They could trade up to get a quarterback. So we'll see what happens. Looks like Real Talk says D Ford has a point to prove. I think he watched our show. Yeah, I mean, D Ford, he got the money. We traded him. We traded for him from the Kansas City Chiefs. He had a solid first year, but the injuries were, they were just a problem, and he couldn't, stay on the field. So hopefully, he can just play about 15 to 20 snaps a game, and hopefully he can be a force on the outside with Bosa. I think that'll definitely help. What's good, Nicho? Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. Looks like he says the defense is great, but need one more solid corner. Yeah, and I think we can definitely, get that in the draft. So looks like CG says D Ford gotta prove it. Yeah. He, shout out, big ups to D Ford for restructuring his contract. I mean, he didn't have to do that. He did the 49ers a favor by restructuring his contract and gave us more cap space this year. So shout out to D Ford. But yeah, I want to see what he can do. What he can do on the field this year and prove that he's not an every down defensive end no more, I don't think, but maybe he could still be an effective pass rusher. So looks like Enjoy My World says she's here listening. I appreciate you listening. Thanks for coming through to the stream. And she says y'all might come out swinging this year for sure. Man, we have to. The NFC West is NFC West is tough. It's no joke. There are a lot of good teams in the NFC West this year. The competition is at an all-time high. We're going to have to face Russ, Kyler, and Stafford. 6 times this year, and those are definitely going to be tough games. And every team is pretty much good on defense. I think Arizona's good on defense. They got solid D line with Watt, Chandler Jones. And, Seattle, they don't have much of a pass rush. I know they signed Kerry Hyder. We'll see how that manifests. And then they got Jamal Adams, a safety, who's all over the field. And then you got the Rams with, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Jalen Ramsey. So it's like it's talent galore in the NFC West. Joy, trying to tell you. But, it's going to be a tough division. And those 6 games we play, are just going to be knockdown, drag-out fight. It's just going to be – and I can't wait for it. Looks like CG says J.C. Horn be nice, but Caleb Farley may slide with back. Wow, I didn't even hear about that Caleb Farley had Back surgery. Wow, that sucks for him because back surgery, hip surgery, those are one of the worst injuries you can have, just in general as a human being, but even as an athlete. Yeah, back surgery is tough, but hopefully Farley recovers from that. Looks like Niners all day. I think the Rams have the best secondary in the NFC West, but we are now a close second or third. Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, the Rams probably. They did lose their safety Johnson. He was pretty good. But yeah, Jalen Ramsey is the best corner in the NFL. So, and then with Seattle, they got Adams, who's a playmaker at the safety spot. But yeah, I would say we're probably second, at worst third. Secondary for sure. Thanks for commenting, Niners all day. Looks like CG Ruthless says I would acquire Gardner Minshew. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I wanted to talk about that in the show today. CG. So let's see. Gardner Minshew. I wrote down a few notes on Gardner Minshew. So in 2019, he played 14 games. He had a 6-6 record. He started 12 of those games. Now in the first year, 2019, he completed 60% of his passes. He had over 30,000 passing yards. He threw for 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So he has an excellent touchdown to interception ratio. And he had a great personal year for being I believe he was a rookie that year, or worse. Yeah, I think he was a rookie that year in 2019. And then in 2020, he kind of regressed a little bit. He only played 9 games, but for some reason he completed a higher percentage of his passes. He completed 66% of his passes. But the team had a 1-7 record, but he did throw 16 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So, Gardner Minshew could be a good option. I read a report this morning that there are other teams that are interested in Gardner Minshew. I heard Seattle, I heard Dallas. So I wonder what the Jaguars would require in return to get Gardner Minshew. I think he would definitely be a good option for the Niners because there aren't that many backup quarterbacks left, CG. I mean, there's, Flacco, he went to Philly. Dalton went to Chicago. Tyrod Taylor went to Houston. I think Brissett, I don't know. I don't remember where he went, but I think he did get re-signed by a different team. So, yeah, the quarterback market, the backup quarterback market is bare right now. It's pretty empty right now. And, the Niners, there are rumored to be interested in Darnold. But I think Minshew, he is cheaper. He's got better numbers than Darnold, and he's got 2 years left on his contract. Minshew has, and I believe he has like a $2 million cap hit total for the next 2 years. So that could be an interesting option for the Niners. He could even push Jimmy G for the starting position. So yeah, Gardner Minshew would be interesting. So good point, CG. Looks like Darth Starkiller says we'll be able to export Witherspoon when he plays with the Sea Chickens. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Witherspoon, he had his moments where he was playing pretty well opposite of Sherman during the Super Bowl run. And then when Witherspoon got hurt, I don't know if it was his confidence that went down or he came back too early. He wasn't really healthy. But, yeah, I mean, Witherspoon, he's solid. He's a solid corner. But he's not going to shut down anyone, that's for sure. Looks like Real Talk says, I think we move up to grab either Wilson or Fields. That's a popular opinion. Real Talk, Niner Talk. Yes, I can't lie. That would be interesting, very interesting. But who do you think, Real Talk, Niner Talk, who do you think, which team can we trade with to move up? It seems like the most likely team would probably be Miami because if they're sold on Tua like they say they are, then they're not going to draft a quarterback. So they might, trade down to get more picks from us. But that would be an intriguing move. And another intriguing thing is if we do get one of those, high-tier quarterbacks coming out of the draft this year or coming out of college this year, would we still keep Jimmy G? That's the thing. I don't think either one of those rookie quarterbacks should start on a contending team. Now, if we were a team that was in transition, that was rebuilding, yeah, why not? Go ahead, throw them in there, either start the season or maybe, let a veteran quarterback, start the first 4 games. And if the team is trash, then put the rookie quarterback in. But for a contending team, they got to learn Kyle Shanahan's offense, his playbook, I heard is thick as an encyclopedia. So I don't think a rookie quarterback coming out of college, will be able to master the playbook. I'm sure Shanahan would, you know, lessen the playbook to his quarterback's advantage, but I don't think a rookie quarterback coming out learning Shanahan's playbook will be better than Jimmy G. But that would be an intriguing move. If we traded up for a quarterback, we keep Jimmy G. I think we should if we did that. Looks like CG says, let's get Minshew mania. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, he had his moments in Jacksonville, and I think the writing on the wall is pretty clear that he he's not going to be with Jacksonville long because they're expected to take, of course, Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson. So and then they also, speaking of the Jaguars, they signed C.J. Beathard. Shout out to C.J. Beathard, and hope he has a successful NFL career. Obviously it didn't work out with the Niners, but hopefully he does well in Jacksonville. And that's also a reason why, if the Jags already have Beathard, I think they have a quarterback they drafted in 2020. And then also if they get Lawrence, there's really no room for Minshew, or at least that makes Minshew expendable. So I'm eager to see where Minshew lands. Let's see. Looks like Real Talk says exactly depth corner. Yeah, I think we're good at the 2 starting spots. I don't think we'll sign a free agent, elite corner if there are any out there. I don't think there are any else out there. But yeah, I don't think we'll get a depth corner in free agency. I'd be kind of surprised by that, but definitely in the draft for sure. Looks like Niners all day. Thanks for coming through. Looks like he says, I've seen a lot of mocks of us taking Fields at 3, and I really like him and Kyle have chemistry, and he can sit behind Jimmy, or we can release Jimmy and sign Alex Smith and let Fields sit behind. Yeah. I guess the thing with Jimmy is, of course, is the contract. He's getting paid, 24 to 26 million a year. So if we cut or trade Jimmy, we would only have a $2 million dead cap hit against the salary cap. That's why it makes sense to release Jimmy. Alex Smith, at this point of Alex Smith's career, is he better than Jimmy? I don't think so. What I saw of Alex Smith in Washington, he was okay, but I don't think he's better than Jimmy. But then again, coming from the Washington football team, who they had Scary Terry, and I think they had Logan Thomas, the tight end, and then they had a good running back. So they had weapons. But coming to the Niners, I think we do have more weapons, better offensive coaching staff for sure. And Alex Smith probably would play better in our system, but I still like Jimmy G. And that would be a hell of a move if Lynch trades up to into the top 3 and drafts a quarterback. That would take a lot of guts to do that, and that would be interesting. I can't lie. Even though I don't think we need a quarterback, I think we need to get the best corner available at 12. But that would be intriguing if we did that. I can't lie about that. Looks like Niners all day, like how the Chiefs did it with Mahomes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Chiefs. But I think, yeah, that's true. Alex Smith, though, never went to a Super Bowl in KC as a starter. So that's one thing that he doesn't have on Jimmy G, is that, Alex Smith didn't take the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. And that's one reason why I think the Niners still stick with Jimmy, is because, no, he didn't, throw for 5,000 yards. No, he didn't throw for 50 touchdown passes. But he was an integral part in getting us to the Super Bowl. And that's part of the reasons why I still want to stick with Jimmy, because I saw him when his high was the Super Bowl, and the low for the team was when he got hurt and basically the season was over. So, but yeah, if Lynch pulled that off, hats off to him. That'd be amazing if he, if he had the gravitas, if he had the guts to pull that off. That'd be amazing if he did that. Looks like CG Ruthless, Justin Houston is who we should sign, and Ford were scary good together in KC. They were. Yeah, and I think Justin Houston, he's still a productive player. He played the last 2 seasons with the Colts, He had about 19 sacks those 2 seasons, and he played every game. So he still can perform at a high level. Justin Houston, that is, and he still is a free agent. So I wonder, what is he garnering per year in salary? But I think the Niners should definitely look into that. CG says McGlinchey might be gone. I wouldn't say anything yet. If it's true, we can trade him to the Colts on draft day. Maybe the plan to draft a tackle. Yeah, I heard about that too, CG. Good point. That the Colts were interested in McGlinchey, and I think after signing Trent Williams to that massive contract extension, he's the highest paid left tackle in the NFL. Do the Niners really want to pay McGlinchey once his contract is up? Because McGlinchey, probably wants to get paid in like a top 10, top 15 range of tackle. And we have Fred Warner's contract coming up. He's going to be the highest paid middle linebacker in the NFL most likely. We might have the cap space to do that to sign McGlinchey, but I don't know if we'd want to. I know the NFL is going to sign a new network TV deal that will increase the salary cap dramatically. But yeah, I think McGlinchey's days could be numbered. I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded on draft day or if he isn't retained after his contract is up. So it would be a wise decision. Yeah, if we trade McGlinchey on draft day and we get a first round pick for him, then yeah, I could see us taking like most popular guy tackle is Rashawn Slater. He's the most popular guy I've heard. Let's see. CG says Dunlap would be a good payback signing from Seattle. Yeah, I know, man. Seattle taking all of our players, man. So yeah, Dunlap, he performed well in Seattle. Obviously Dunlap, he had an excellent career with the Bengals. He was drafted by them. I think he played for them at least 9-10 years before they traded him to Seattle. And Dunlap didn't re-sign. Actually, Dunlap was still under contract with Seattle, but they cut him probably to save money. But yeah, I wonder what Dunlap would garner in free agency. We should definitely look at him. Dunlap, Kerrigan, and Justin Houston. Those are the three guys I'm looking at to see where they land. But who knows? John Lynch may think that we're good as far as pass rushing on the defensive front. We do have a lot of depth, and also he might be looking into the draft. Maybe get a young edge rusher later in the draft. But I'm wondering, what is he thinking about receiver? Because we still need another receiver to pair with, Debo, the show, Kittle, and also what about Jordan Reed? Are we resigning Jordan Reed? I would love to see him back in the red and gold, next year. It's like 49ers Ultimate Report projection at the secondary: Verrett, Mosley, Kwan, Tart, and Ward. On paper, it looks great. Exactly. On paper, it looks great. Can they recreate John Jay, the 2019 season? That's what I want to know. If they can recreate that, our defense will be playing at elite level. Hell, our defense was elite last year. It was top 10 in defense all last year, and that was with a lot of injuries. And that was basically our main pass rusher was Kerry Hyder. And Bosa missed the whole year. So I think the 49ers defense can definitely rebound, next year. I'm kind of, I'm not sure about the defensive front. I know Bosa's coming back. He's coming back from a torn ACL. We'll see how he plays after that. And a torn ACL, nowadays is very normal for athletes. Unfortunately, it's not like 40 years ago when a torn ACL could have ended someone's career. But yeah, I'm eager to see what Bosa can do when he comes back. We got Bucum, Ford. I'm not expecting much. But what helps the secondary, I mentioned those players because what helps the secondary is the pass rush. It starts in the trenches, baby. Games are won and lost in the trenches. And, that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see if we can control the line of scrimmage, get pressure on the quarterback, and that'll definitely help our secondary. And hopefully we can have a clean bill of health this year. Just like Enjoy My Well says, our first pick is the 12th pick in the draft this year. Looks like CG says best available, maybe a tackle with McGlinchey on the trading block. Yeah, I could see that. I definitely think McGlinchey should be, because I'm thinking long term. I just don't feel like we'll be able to sign McGlinchey, and because the massive contract we signed Trent Williams. Normally, you don't pay unless you're the Raiders. Normally, you don't pay multiple offensive linemen like 10+ mil a year. And that clearly didn't work out for the Silver and Black, but that's why they got rid of some of their offensive linemen. But yeah, normally you don't pay multiple offensive linemen like 10+ mil a year, or I should say like top 5 at their position. So obviously Trent, highest paid left tackle, and McGlinchey, I'm sure he wants to get there someday, right? When he resigns to a new multi-year contract extension, he's going to want to get paid at least top 10 of tackles, and I don't think that would be in the Niners' best interest to do that. So, it's like CG says, the 12th pick, the Sports Star. What's good? Thanks for coming through, the Sports Star. Looks like Niners All Day says Cards just signed Malcolm Butler. I think that's a decent pick. Butler, he's a solid corner. I don't, he had that great moment in the Super Bowl. Since then with Tennessee, I don't know if he definitely ain't elite. Nah, Malcolm Butler is definitely not an elite corner. I think he's a solid corner, solid veteran corner. And yeah, I think he should do well with the Arizona Cardinals. Thanks for the update, Niners All Day. But isn't it funny how more talent continues to come to the NFC West? Like it's going to be a hell of a division. Very tough. Looks like Enjoy My World says, keep up the good work. I appreciate the kind words. Enjoy my world. Let's see. Looks like she says, I have work to get to. Congrats again to 500 subs. Rolled to 1K. I appreciate you coming through. Enjoy my world. So, yeah, 1K. I knew what you meant. But thanks for coming through. Have a productive day at work. So, looks like Derpy Boy says, with Beathard signing with the Jags and Mullins not on the contract, it's looking like Jimmy is our starter. Thanks for coming through, Derpy Boy. I've enjoyed your vlogs that you had on your YouTube channel in Reno. Those were cool to see. Thanks for coming through to the stream, baby. But yeah, Beathard signed with the Jets. Mullins has yet to sign with the team yet. But yeah, Jimmy G, that's my quarterback. Yeah, Jimmy G should be the starter. Even if we trade up early in the draft to try to get a top 3 selection, I think Jimmy G will still be the starter. A rookie quarterback, coming into Kyle Shanahan's system should learn from a veteran quarterback who knows the system. And I think that would be very fruitful for that quarterback to learn from a veteran, sit behind them, and see how Jimmy G performs. And then, with Jimmy's contract now, he has 2 years left. It's not guaranteed. And the 49ers can basically cut bait, and it won't be a significant salary cap hit. It would basically be like a $2 million salary cap hit. So Jimmy, from this point on, he's a year to year. We'll see how Jimmy G plays this year. Obviously, John Lynch has done a great job in assembling talent around Jimmy G. He solidified the offensive line with the big man, the silverback, Trent Williams. Upgraded the center position with Alex Mack. And we still have returning starters in Lincoln Tomlinson, Brunskill, and McGlinchey. So I feel like the offensive line, is solidified. Probably definitely the best in the NFC West. Could potentially be one of the better, like top 5, top 7 in the NFL. I mean, if you subscribe to Pro Football Focus, they say that the 49ers offensive line was actually a top 10 offensive line last year, if you can believe that. But that's what Pro Football Focus says, and that's a reputable company. But Derpy Boy, who do you think should be the starter? If you're not sold on Jimmy G, who do you think we should get? Let me know in the comments. Let's see. CG says, "Yep, Derpy." Looks like Enjoy My World says, "Thanks. Look forward to seeing you pop up good football." Yeah, I can't wait till we play your good old ATL Falcons. So, yeah. Let's see. Looks like Niners All Day says, "Who is your draft crush?" Mine is Justin Fields. For the quarterback position, I would say I'm kind of intrigued by Trey Lance, but I feel like quarterback is the least of our worries. That's just how I feel. Y'all know how I feel by now. Y'all know Jay and the Bay feel like the quarterback is the least of the worries. We need to go, best corner available, unless we trade McGlinchey. But yeah, I'm intrigued by the draft because Lynch could go a variety of ways. So Looks like Niners all day says, as you can probably tell. Yeah. Yeah, Fields, I mean, he had an excellent career at Ohio State. I know every quarterback is different. You can't compare the quarterbacks, but when was the last time an Ohio State quarterback was good in the NFL? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I don't remember the last time Ohio State quarterback actually, performed well in the NFL. Haskins was the last quarterback to get drafted that actually that didn't work out with the Washington football team. But I think with him, it was almost more about work ethic, putting in the time. But we'll see what happens. So looks like Enjoy My Well says, I speak football language too. Looks like Enjoy My Well says, seems like 49ers and Falcons will be fighting on field. So the fan base says, yeah, because the Falcons have I think they have a top 5 pick. The Falcons do. So yeah, I think they're definitely going to be getting a quarterback for sure to eventually, replace Matt Ryan. I'm not sure about Matt Ryan's contract. I heard that he restructured it, but I'm not sure how many years he has left. But a rookie quarterback, in a best case scenario, they shouldn't start from day one. I know Herbert had an excellent year with the Chargers. Burrow was looking good before he got hurt, but I feel like ideally you want them to sit at least, the first 4 to 8 games of their first season to learn from a veteran quarterback. And then if you want to bring them in, I'm down with that. But yeah, I think they should sit first. Looks like Niners all day says most likely. Looks like Trey Willie 431. Thanks for coming through to the stream, Trey Willie. First time I seen you. Looks like he says New Jersey 49ers fans here. Let's go. Thanks for coming through to the stream all the way on the East Coast, man. Thanks for coming through. And looks like Enjoy My World says we need anything that will help us win more games. Yeah, because the Falcons have been somewhat a disappointment the last few years. I mean, ever since Shanahan has left, I don't think the Falcons have gone to the playoffs. I don't think so. Yeah, they have been, disappointing. Looks like the 49ers Ultimate Report coming through with that info. Looks like J.C. Horn is a cornerback prospect in the 2021 draft class. He scored a 10 RAS out of a possible 10. This ranked 1. So basically, he's the best cornerback prospect since 1987. Wow. That's crazy. That's amazing. So with that information, J.C. Horn should be a top 10 pick, and we're not picking in the top 10. So we'll see if he's there, because if we trade into the top 10, I don't think we trade up to get a corner. I'd be surprised by that. If we trade into the top 10, it would probably be to get a quarterback, but we'll see what happens, man, because we'll see. The draft is almost a month away. I'm geeked up for it. I'm excited. I can't wait until the draft because the 49ers can go in a variety of directions. So looks like Niners all day says, I don't think Fields is a Falcon. I think you guys might get a lineman or receiver. Yeah. I mean, they did draft. They still got Julio. They drafted Calvin Ridley. So we'll see. We'll see what that current regime wants to do. If they still want to build around Matt Ryan or prepare for the future. I've heard that a lot of Falcons fans want to get a quarterback, but then you have another faction of fans that want to stick with Ryan and continue to build around Ryan. You guys got a new head coach, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Looks like Niners all day, like Jamar Chase or Smith to learn behind Julio or really. That's true. I hear that the wide receiver draft class is deep this year, so you may not have to get, a receiver in the first round. You can get a receiver in the later rounds who can learn behind Julio or really. And I hear Jamar Chase may be going to the Dolphins, but we'll see what happens. Looks like Enjoy My World says we need everything. Yeah, y'all got to rebuild, but it can start first in the draft. That's how you rebuild, through the draft and then adding on free agents. Looks like Niners all day says laugh out loud. Yeah. Looks like Niners all day says Matt Ryan got a 5-year contract, I think. Yeah, I think he restructured it. That's what I heard. So, but yeah, it looks like it was restructured. So, but also had to talk about the 49ers latest, departures. We added a lot of players in free agency. We started out with Kyle Juszczyk. We had to bring him back at the fullback position. Juszczyk can do it all. Of course, he's instrumental in the run game. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can really do it all. He really is a Swiss Army knife, and it's great to have Juszczyk back. Verrett and Mosley and Kwan were signed to solidify the secondary. Also, re-signed Tart and added depth with Tavon Wilson. So the secondary is deep, and Lynch did a great job in assembling the talent and bringing back the Niners from that 2019 season. But we got to talk about some of the guys that left. Obviously, C.J. Beathard, he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hope the best for him. Kerry Hyder signed with the enemy, the Seattle Seahawks. And, of course, I think this news just came out yesterday with Tevin Coleman, Tevin Coleman, I enjoyed his time as a 49er. He clearly had a better year in 2019 than 2020. Tevin Coleman was a solid running back. He was a good number 2 option behind Raheem Mostert. And, in 2019, Coleman, he played, 14 games. He averaged about 4 yards per carry in the run game. He had about 137 carries, 544 yards, 6 touchdowns. He also caught the ball as well, 21 catches, 180 yards. So Tevin Coleman had an excellent first year with the Niners. And then the second year, of course, he battled injuries. I believe he only played in 8 games. And he really didn't look the same, when he came back from his injury. But hope the best for Tevin Coleman. He's going to be with the Jets with Robert Saleh. So, they got a good running back. I think they got a good, solid running back. And then, of course, Ahkello Witherspoon, another former 49er, went to the enemy. And hopefully he'll do well in Seattle. Just not against us, of course. But, yeah. So, but we definitely had a lot more. Lynch definitely added more talent to the roster than left. So that's always a good sign. It all depends. Can we replicate the 2019 season? Looks like Derpy Boy says, "What are your thoughts on the Seahawks signing Witherspoon?" Yeah, Witherspoon. He's a solid cornerback. He's not shut down. It seems like he plays better against receivers like a DK Metcalf. Your more taller receivers who don't run the entire route tree. They may run a quick slant, a quick out, a post corner, a fly route. Like he's more suited to cover wide receivers like that than, your fast, short wide receivers that can run more of the route tree, that run crossing routes and things like that. But yeah, I think he's good. Witherspoon is a solid cornerback, especially in zone coverage. Doesn't mind tackling. I think the Seahawks got a solid corner. We'll see how he does with Seattle. What helps a good secondary is the pass rush, and they got Kerry Hyder, so they should be decent on defense. I can't wait to play our division rivals this year. Especially Seattle, since they signed 2 of our former players. So just like CG says, can we get Jimmy G to restructure so we get more players to sign or extend Warner? Great point, CG. I don't know why Lynch has it. Like we don't know behind the scenes. Obviously, we don't know if Lynch asked Jimmy to restructure and Jimmy declined. Because I know a report came out about Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs asked him to restructure and he declined. So there haven't been any reports, CG, about if Lynch has asked Jimmy to restructure and he declined, or we don't even know if Lynch went to Jimmy and asked him to restructure. We don't know. So, but I think, yeah, Jimmy could restructure his contract. I don't know why the 49ers wouldn't. But, I mean, if Tom Brady can restructure his contract and Aaron Rodgers can restructure their contract, why can't Jimmy G? I agree with you, CG. Looks like 49ers Ultimate Report. NFL is a business. I understand why Hyder and Spoon left, but why the Hawks? Exactly, bro. Exactly, John Jay. Man, you putting out great content, man. I enjoy watching your YouTube, man. And if you guys haven't checked out, make sure you check out the 49ers Ultimate Report on YouTube. Great content. Talks about the red and gold, baby. But yeah, I understand it's a business. I'm glad Hyder got his money. Obviously, he was looking for a multi-year contract after having one of his best years of his career. But yeah, why the Hawks, bro? Come on, man. Why the Hawks? But I can't wait till we play against them. It'll be good to see Hyder again. And, hopefully we have the upper hand in those matchups. And then, yeah, Spoon left as well. I guess, hey, maybe they like the West Coast. They wanted to stay on the West Coast, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's all I can say. Let's see. CG says, yeah, it's business. Exactly. We all on the same page. Let's see. Looks like CG says it is what it is. Hopefully, Ibukum is a double-digit sack guy. Yeah, I think he had 4 or 5 sacks last year. I don't know if he started every game or if he came in on certain defensive packages. I'm not sure, and we really don't know. What his role will be. I know that he'll be a defensive end. We don't know if he's going to start from day one. We don't know. He could play outside linebacker as a defensive end. So, yeah, if Bucum is a double-digit sack guy opposite of Bosa, I think, yeah, that'd be great. And then if Ford could come in, sparingly and rush the passer, on obvious passing situations, and then you would move. So let's say on obvious passing situations, if you had Bosa on one end, you had Bucum on the other, and then you had probably Armstead in the middle, and then with either DJ Jones or Kinlaw, I think that's a good front four for sure. Steven Croso, what's good, man? Congratulations. I think you just hit 300 subscribers, I think. Congratulations, man. Your channel is blowing up. Looks like 49ers are not out of the Malcolm Butler hole yet. Cardinals have signed Malcolm Butler. Yeah. I think Niners All Day just reported that. Yeah, I think it just happened within like the past half an hour that, Butler signed with the Cardinals. And Steven, I know you're a big Titans fan. So I'm not sure, are you happy or disappointed with Malcolm Butler, getting cut from the Titans? I think he's a solid corner. He's not elite. He's not a shutdown corner, but that's again more talent to the NFC West. It's like Enjoy My World says we discount shopping right now. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys got I think you guys got a new GM, new head coach, and I'm sure. I don't know if he thinks that the Falcons can still contend. I don't know if it's wise to bring in, big money free agents. Maybe he thinks maybe you guys should just, try to build the team through the draft. And that's always a good thing to do. CG says, hopefully we get a third receiver. Great minds think alike, CG. Yeah, we definitely need to get a third receiver. We gotta we gotta find someone to pair with, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. I think tight end too. I think we should get another tight end. I know Delaney Walker, former Niner, he's still available. He could be an option, or Jordan Reed, something like that. But I think that receiver, Manuel Sanders was cut by the Saints, but he re-signed with the Bills. I think Willie Snead is still available. T.Y. Hilton, he re-signed back with the Colts. I was like, oh man, that could have been a nice option if we had T.Y. Hilton, to line up in the slot, or he could be the second receiver opposite of the show. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I wonder if John Lynch, does he think we still need to get another receiver, or maybe we'll go on the draft? That's an option as well. So looks like 49ers Ultimate Report says, I don't like the Hawks after the 2012 NFC Championship game when Bowman got hurt. The stadium cheered for an injured person. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't the whole stadium, but yeah, that was definitely not a memorable moment from the Seahawks fans for sure. Yeah, and then after Bowman got hurt, yeah, his career was never the same after that, and that was very unfortunate. So, yeah. It's like Derby Boy says, I'm retaking a quiz in class right now, so I might leave. I'll come back for sure, man. Thanks for coming through, Derby Boy. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you joining the stream. Looks like CG says, I can't stand the Seattle fans acting like Raiders fans. Yeah, there's always going to be, some fans. Kind of like when Kevin Durant got hurt in the finals game against the Raptors, and some of the Raptors fans were cheering. I don't think people actually want players to get hurt. I think it's just they're happy that player can't contribute to the team. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You don't want to see players get hurt, but then if they can't contribute, you're not mad either. So, yeah, some people joy, some people Trey Willis says, what do you think about Josh Rosen playing in our system? Well, that's a great question, Trey. I mean, Josh Rosen hasn't really shown much in the NFL. Some say he got a raw deal in Arizona. He was given 1 year to prove it with the current regime, and then that regime was let go, and a new regime came in and decided they wanted to go in a different direction. Okay, let's give Rosen a break on that. Then I believe he gets traded to the Miami Dolphins. He couldn't get the starting job in Miami. I believe Fitzmagic started over him, I believe. And then, of course, they drafted Tua. Then he gets traded to the Buccaneers. Obviously, he's not going to start over TB12. So Rosen just hasn't shown much. I've heard people say, oh, get rid of Jimmy and let Rosen start. I'm like, what? I mean, Rosen, what has he shown you that you think that he would be an adequate starter over Jimmy G? Will Rosen play his best football with the Niners? I think he would. And the reason I say that is because we have, one of the best play callers in the NFL, play designers in Kyle Shanahan, and then also, of course, we have the weapons on our team. So if Rosen played his best ball, it would be red and gold. So if let's say if things stand pat the way they are now with Jimmy G entrenched as a starter, I want to see Josh Rosen in the preseason. I want to see how he plays in the preseason, and we'll have more. We'll have more to say about his play after I see him in the preseason with the 49ers. Looks like Derpy Boy. They also threw trash at him while he was being carted off the field. Wow, dang! I didn't hear about. I didn't see that, but yeah, some fans they take it too far. That's unfortunate. Looks like CG says I think Rosen will be decent. Yeah, I mean, I think it was time to go in a different direction, and I think the Mullins experiment and the Beathard experiment, they're obviously over and done with. So I think Rosen could be a solid backup, but he hasn't played meaningful games. Well, for what, like 2 years? So, or was it 3 years? It was 3 years. The last time he was with Arizona starting, he hasn't really played meaningful snaps. So we'll see what comes about. Looks like Andy Reid said, Andy Reid's face shield. I think it will be Bosa for Defensive Player of the Year. Thanks for coming through, Andy Reid. Face shield. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, I mean, that would be great if Bosa could be Defensive Player of the Year. That would be excellent. Obviously he's coming off of the torn ACL he suffered against the Jets this past season. So, I just want him to come back, be healthy, contribute. If he could get double-digit sacks, I think that'll go a long way for our defensive front. Looks like 49ers Ultimate Report. Looks like Derpy Boys. That's so true. Hawks are trash. Looks like CG says Samson Ibukum was playing less than 40% of the snaps. He mostly played Sam and some edge rush. Hey, appreciate you looking that up for me, CG. So that's cool. He played less than 40% of the snaps, and he mostly played Sam and some edge rush. So yeah, that could be a similar role he has with the Niners. I'm not sure if he'll start at edge rush or he'll play outside linebacker, but I'm intrigued by this move that Lynch did because he can play a variety of positions. Samson can. So, but thanks for the update, CG. Real talk, Niner talk. Yeah, the NFC West is all dogs. I agree, man. The NFC West is crazy. It's no joke. Yeah, I believe it's the toughest division in the NFL for sure. Celts Chronicles, what's good? Thanks for coming through, man. Looks like enjoy my world. Appreciate you coming through to the stream. Enjoy my world. You have a productive day. All righty, what Celts got to say? Let's go. Moneyball is nice, just not at quarterback. That's cap. I know Celts wants Trey Lance at quarterback. That's funny. Let's see, Stephen. I was extremely mad at first, and I believe you're talking about the departure of Malcolm Butler. So I was extremely mad at first, but then the money kicked in, and the Titans built something good, but not since. But now since the NFC West this makes our home game against the Cardinals even more interesting. Yeah, it does, because then the Cardinals will be going up against the Titans, and Malcolm Butler will be going back to Tennessee. Let's see, Andy Reid's face mask. Let's see, Bateman in the second round would be a smart pick. Bateman, what position he plays? Let me know. Let me know, Andy. Let's see, D.D. Westbrook. Yeah, D.D. Nice job, CG. Yeah, D.D. Westbrook. I believe he's still a free agent, I think. And he had good seasons in Jacksonville when Gardner Minshew was a quarterback, and even before then, because D.D. Westbrook, I think he's been in the league 4 or 5 years. So D.D. Westbrook has definitely been putting in work, and he is a good receiver. Real talk, Niner talk. I like the move Harris to linebacker. Sam, yeah, that would be a solid move. I mean, we already got Warner and Greenlaw, and a lot of teams they play 3 wide receiver set, and if that's the case, usually we'll be in nickel coverage, and usually with nickel you only have 2 linebackers. That usually be Warner and Greenlaw. So if that's the case, I think Samson will probably be playing a lot of edge rush in that formation, and then when we have 3 linebackers and 4 D line. Then I would see maybe Samson would be the outside linebacker, or we could, draft another linebacker, young guy, to play that role. So we'll see what happens. Looks like Trey Willie. What about Sean Wade, cornerback, Ohio State? He reminds me of Shark. Haven't seen too much tape about Sean Wade, but yeah, I mean the Niners definitely need to get younger at the cornerback spot, and if he can help in that area, John Lynch should definitely look at him. Derpy Boy, do you think Bosa will be the same after his injury? I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, Bowman, he tore his ACL. He was never the same after that game up in Seattle. His career was definitely cut short. I mean, you hope that Bosa will come back and maybe not be 100%, but at least like 80 to 90% of himself. I think if he is, it would definitely elevate the entire defense. And unfortunately, Bosa has had several injuries throughout his high school career, college career, and NFL. So hopefully, the trend will stop that he continues to get injured, and hopefully he comes back healthy. Andy Reid's face shield. Do you think Watson is guilty? I have no idea, brother. I wasn't in that room, but I mean, it ain't looking good. I'll leave it at that. It don't look good. I want the truth to come out, and if Watson, if Watson did do those things that those women are alleging, then he should be held accountable for his actions. That's what I think. So let's see. Real talk, Niner talk. He says Witherspoon was soft. That's cap. Man, Witherspoon was good. He had his moments in that 2019 Super Bowl run. He had his moments. He was looking good opposite of Sherman. But yeah, once he came back, I don't know if he came back too early. He wasn't healthy, but he just lost confidence. And Witherspoon, and that allowed Emmanuel Mosley to start in front of Witherspoon, and that catapulted Mosley's career, and that's why he got that 2-year deal. He got that new money. Looks like CG says, I subscribe you, Derpy Boy. Good content. Yeah, check out Derpy Boy. And Derpy Boy appreciates that. All right, it looks like Real Talk says D4 did the right thing, so we'll lighten up on him. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely, he put out good energy into the air when D4 did that. That was good. He put out something good into the atmosphere, and hopefully it comes back to him, and hopefully D4 will have a good bounce back year this year. He'll stay healthy, and we got to use him sparingly. Like I said before, he's not a every down defensive end anymore. We need to use D4 sparingly in obvious passing situations, because if he gets hurt again, it's like, we have depth now, so we should be okay. But I want to see D4, play every game this year, and I just want to see him contribute. I just want to see you win, D4. That's all I want to see, baby. I just want to see you win. That's like Andy Reid says the wide receiver. I think you were talking about the Bateman. Okay, so the Bateman guy, I haven't seen much tape on him. I wonder where is he projected to go to get drafted, because you bring up a great point, Andy, because we definitely need a wide receiver. Not only should we get a third wide receiver, but faithful Niner Empire. How do you guys feel? Are you guys sold on our wide receiver depth? Because I'm not. Because after Debo, Ayuk, I believe Richie James is coming back. I think he's still under contract. After those three, I mean, there's what? Trent Taylor, I think he's gone. I don't think he's coming back. He's currently a free agent. Jalen Hurd, he's been hurt the last 2 years. So you can't really rely on someone who's not available. Juwan Jennings, he was hurt last year. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can stay healthy during training camp. But I still think we need to add another receiver. So looks like Steven says Bateman is a wide receiver. Okay. And it looks like CG says it's not because I'm an Oklahoma Sooners fan, but it's because D.D. Westbrook is underrated. Yeah, I agree. Westbrook is definitely underrated, the wide receiver out of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's put up consistent numbers. He's a good wide receiver. I'm surprised he hasn't been signed yet. But that's good news for the Niners. I think we should definitely bring in, a veteran wide receiver. We have the salary cap. I believe we've got, 8 to 10 mil of our salary cap is allocated toward the draft picks. So we have about at least 10 mil of that 20 mil left. So I think edge rusher and wide receiver. I believe if we sign 2 veterans at those positions, I think Lynch, in my eyes, Lynch already has an A+ for this free agency by solidifying the offensive line. The secondary looks good on paper. And, Lynch already has an A+ in my mind, but it would be even better if we could add 2 more veterans at those positions, edge rusher and wide receiver. What's good? Thanks for coming through, Hood Scratcher Lady. Appreciate your content. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for coming through. Looks like Trey Willie says, I've heard the lawyer for the women is in the neighborhood of the Houston Texans owner. Do the math if that's true. Yeah, I mean, it definitely does seem a little fishy what's going on. But I just want the truth to come out in the situation. And if Deshaun Watson, if he's if he did the things that those women say he did, then yeah, he got to be held accountable for his actions. And just like anyone in society, if you do wrong and it's proven in court, you gotta do the time. So, but we'll see what happens because it seems like it's going to be a long, drawn out process. So, looks like Trey Willie says, I don't have any Niners content, just a loyal fans just to catch. Thanks for coming through, Trey Willie. I appreciate you coming through. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to your boy, Jay in the Bay. YouTube, IG, Twitter. Thanks. I appreciate you, Trey Willie. Thanks for coming through. I will be doing more streams more often, so I appreciate you coming through. Looks like CG says Witherspoon lost his confidence. Yeah, he did. He did. During that Super Bowl run, he was playing lights out opposite Sherman. I remember it real clear. And then when he got hurt, he just wasn't the same when he came back. Just wasn't the same. And Mosley took advantage of that opportunity. When one guy gets hurt, you got to step up and make the most out of that situation. That's what Mosley did. So that's why Mosley's here and Witherspoon gone. Looks like Andy Reid says, who would you prefer, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, or Zach Wilson? If it was me, the wild card I feel is Trey Lance. He kind of reminds me of Kaepernick. He can kind of do it all in the pocket, but he seems like the most raw quarterback. When was the last time an Alabama quarterback was any good? The jury is still out on Tua. Mac Jones, he's got all the weapons around him. Everyone is great at Alabama. The offensive line, the backups, the water boy, the receivers. I mean, he has it all in Alabama. The defense, like every player there could go to the NFL. So I don't know how good Mac Jones is. And Bama's got talent ever since Saban's been there. I think he's been there at least 10 years, Nick Saban. They always have talent, but the quarterbacks that are there, they never are good in the NFL. So I would say, I'm very intrigued by Trey Lance, but he's raw. And then Zach Wilson seems like, the steam is picking up on Zach Wilson. It seems like, it just seems like more and more reports are coming out about Zach Wilson. He's going to be a top 5 pick. So, it seems like Zach Wilson would be the better quarterback, like in year 1 or year 2 compared to Trey Lance. Trey Lance seems like a project. He seems raw. It seems like it would take him years to develop. So, looks like CG says Mac Jones. I see you, CG. Yeah, I know you got to judge. I know you got to judge every quarterback on their own merit, right? But there's a long trend. When was the last time an Alabama quarterback was good in the NFL? I just don't. I don't know. Can you name me a quarterback from Alabama that made hay in the NFL that was elite? I don't remember any quarterbacks from Bama. It's like I prefer. Trey says I prefer Kyle Trask from Florida. Float Ride. Yeah, I haven't heard that much about Kyle Trask. I wonder if he's still projected to be a first-round pick or if he'll go in the later rounds. I have seen reports that Kyle Trask could be drafted by the Niners, maybe in the later rounds of the draft. But I'm intrigued. And it looks like CG says he is a Shanahan fit. I wonder if you're talking about Mac Jones or you're talking about Trask. But, yeah, the Niners, Niners can go in a variety of ways in the draft. Trade up into the top 5, which I think is probably less likely, or they can get a quarterback in the later rounds of the draft, which is an option. Because you draft a quarterback, in the top 5, it doesn't always pan out. There's so many examples of that where it doesn't always pan out. So looks like Andy Reid's facial. Will you live stream during the draft? We could all react live. Yeah, that's a great point you bring up. Because my channel, I appreciate all the subscribers coming through. And, my channel is definitely growing and I enjoy live streaming. I love conversing with all you guys when we're talking about the good old, y'all see it, the red and gold. So I don't know. I don't know if I might live stream before the draft and maybe right after, because I think the first round, I think the first day of the draft, they only do the first round of the draft, I think. Or maybe they do the first 2 rounds. I don't remember. Someone let me know. On the first day of the NFL draft, do they only do the first round or they do the first 2 rounds? I think it's only the first round. So, I'm definitely going to be watching the draft, probably live stream, maybe before and maybe after. We'll see about during. We'll see what happens. Looks like Hood Scratcher Lady. Yay! Looks like Dirt Big Boy says, how long have you been a 49er fan? I've been a 49er fan ever since my youngest memory is the catch 2 with T.O. against the Packers, and I think that was in 97, I believe. 90, yeah, I think it was 97, so that's my earliest memory. So I've been a Niner fan for what? 23 years, so yeah, long time coming. How long you been a Niner fan, Derpy boy? Looks like Trey Willie says since 82. Woo! You've been a Niner fan for a cool minute. Looks like CG says, I prefer Kellen Mond. Yeah, I've heard about him as well. I think he's out of Texas A&M, and I don't think he's projected to be a first-round pick, so that could be an option for the Niners if we stand pat and draft the best available, because obviously we'll have picks in the later rounds of the draft. CG says, I like Trask. All right. Yeah, I've heard good things about Trask. I don't think he's a first-round pick, so it's like Andy Reid says, CG Ruthless, he is crazy good. Real talk, Niner talk. I think the Jets will stick with Darnold, so it's looking like The Jets or Miami. Yeah, so if the Jets stick with Darnold, they're probably either going to draft the best, I would say the best wide receiver available to pair up with Darnold. Because if you believe in Darnold, then you want to continue to surround him with talent. And, they could go wide receiver. They could go running back, but normally you don't see running backs get drafted that high anymore. But yeah, they'll probably go wide receiver, or they could trade back to get multiple picks. And Miami, if they're sold on Tua, they'll probably get the best wide receiver, or they could be a possible trade option for the Niners too. 49ers ultimate report had to come back in. Most top quarterbacks don't end up like Mahomes. Mac Jones is someone Kyle will like, Jay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, obviously Kyle, you know, he's a great play designer, great play caller. But if we're honest with ourselves, has he developed a quarterback? I know. I mean, we drafted Beathard. That didn't work out. We signed Nick Mullins. He was undrafted. That didn't work out. Jimmy G learned from TB12 in New England, and I'm sure obviously Shanahan helped Jimmy G in that area, but I'm not questioning Shanahan's play calling, creating plays or anything like that, but has he developed a quarterback yet in the red and gold? But that would be intriguing to see. Shanahan's not going anywhere anytime soon. And obviously he just re-signed with the Niners with the contract extension. So if he did draft a quarterback, that would be intriguing to see how he develops that quarterback. Looks like CG says Trask got the talent to fit Shanahan's offense. And that's the thing. Part of me, and I think Shanahan believes this, is that he can mold any quarterback to play good in his offense. That's what I feel like Shanahan believes. That's part of the reason why we still have Jimmy G. And obviously he thought he could mold Mullins and Beathard, but that didn't come to fruition. But Trask has the talent. There's a lot of quarterbacks coming out in this draft that have the talent to play in Shanahan's system, and we have the weapons. It's not only about the system that the quarterback plays in, it's about the weapons. It's about the talent you surround the quarterback. And the Niners definitely have top-notch talent on the offensive side of the ball. Looks like Steven says, okay, day one is round one only. Okay, that's what I was thinking, Steven. Thank you for confirming that. And then he says, day two is round 2 and 3, and day 3 is rounds 4 through 7. So, yeah, day one definitely will be intriguing and looking forward to the entire draft. I believe it's April 29th, so I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for that update, Steven. It looks like Derpy Boy coming through with the update as well. So about the thanks for the update, Derpy Boy. I appreciate you about the draft days and rounds. Appreciate you. Looks like CG says exactly Ultimate Sports. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says Lance is a mix of McNair and Mariota. That sounds good. I like that. Mariota is a solid quarterback. He can kind of do it all. He can move out the pocket. He can run, the option read if you need to. Mariota's solid. He just didn't work out in Tennessee. He battled injuries, and eventually he fell out of favor. But yeah, if you say he's a mix of McNair and Mariota, that's a good combination. And Mac Jones is a Kirk Cousins or non-mobile. Kyle likes no mobile. Yeah, no, I'm starting to realize that, right? Kyle Shanahan doesn't necessarily want a mobile quarterback. He was the offensive coordinator in Washington for RG3, and RG3 led them to the playoffs that year, but fortunately RG3 got hurt. Career was never really the same after that. But yeah, I don't know if Shanahan values a mobile quarterback. It doesn't seem like he wants that. He's obviously likes Kirk Cousins, and he's not a mobile quarterback. But yeah, Mac Jones coming from Alabama. There haven't been a lot of Alabama quarterbacks that have been successful. Don't know the reason why, but it's a disturbing trend. Looks like CG says he's been repping the red and gold since '93. So looks like Derby Boy says I'm young, so ever since the decline of Cap. Okay, cool, man. No worries. Looks like CG says Mac Jones ran a 4.47 in the 40. He is mobile. I mean, 4.7 in the NFL for a quarterback, I guess, is solid. Obviously, he's not, Tyreek Hill, whatever, but he's solid. Looks like Trey Willie Trask is a perfect fit. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if the 49ers, because I think we can all agree that the 49ers most likely will draft a quarterback. I think we can all agree on that. 49ers will draft a quarterback. It just depends on if Lynch wants to move up into like the top 3, or if Lynch wants to settle for a quarterback possibly later in the first round, possibly in the early second or third round. So yeah, I'm excited to see where Lynch goes. William Dudley, thanks for coming in to the stream. Looks like William Dudley says, I like that quarterback from Texas A&M. I think are you talking about Kellen Mond? I think CG was saying he likes Kellen Mond as well. Yeah, if we can get him in, third or fourth round, why not take a flyer on him? I don't see why not. It's like 49ers Ultimate Report says Trask is my favorite quarterback prospect. Cool, man. Yeah, I want to see where Trask ends up. It seems like 49ers Ultimate Report, John Jay wants him to be drafted by the Red and Gold. William Dudley says, I say we trade for Matt Ryan since Mac played together with Kyle. They know his offense and draft a rookie quarterback. Yeah. Only thing is, so I guess if we trade, so we'd have to figure out what to do with Jimmy G in that scenario. So we'd either cut Jimmy G or trade Jimmy G to Atlanta. Not sure if the Falcons would want. I mean, I guess he's a cheaper quarterback, but I'm not sure if the Falcons would want Jimmy G. And yeah, Matt Ryan and Shanahan, they created magic up in the ATL. The year they went to the Super Bowl. And Matt Ryan doesn't seem like he's really been the same QB since. I don't know if you can necessarily blame the Falcons' struggles on Matt Ryan, the years post Shanahan. I know their defense has, had issues, getting after the quarterback, and their secondary has been, not stellar. But that would be interesting. But is Matt Ryan still in the prime of his career? I'll probably say no. And, Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense probably hasn't been the problem. It's more likely been the defense that's been the issue for them. But yeah, you're right, William. Matt Ryan does know Shanahan's offensive playbook, and they did create some magic during that Super Bowl run. Let's see. CG says Mac Jones isn't slow. 4.68 on his pro day. Yeah, he's not slow, but I don't think that's fast in the NFL. So if you had, obviously, if you had a running back run a 4.6 in the draft, or excuse me, on his pro day, that's terrible for a running back. A 4.6 40 on a pro day for a running back, that's terrible. He might not even get drafted. Now 4.6 for a quarterback, that's solid. I don't know if that necessarily makes him mobile. You could be mobile in college, but in the NFL, everybody running 4.4, 4.5 on that defense. So 4.6 is considered slow to as an NFL standard, because a lot of defensive players they running fast, baby. Looks like William says, but if it was me, I would go after quarterback who has no fear, tough, smart, injury-free. Yeah, that would definitely be ideal. I think Jimmy has no fear. I think Jimmy is tough and he is smart, but he definitely ain't injury-free. That's been the Achilles heel of Jimmy G. Jimmy, he can't stay healthy. That's one of the issues with him. If he played all 16 games, I think we would have been a playoff team this year. That's just me. But Lynch said earlier in the year that, Jimmy's the guy, but, reliability has been an issue for Jimmy, and that's why the Niners need to strengthen the quarterback room. And they can do that by possibly getting, Sam Darnold, Gardner Minshew. Because I don't know about you guys, I'm not sold on Josh Rosen and Josh Johnson. I'm not sold on those two. I would want to get another quarterback and maybe Josh Rosen would be my third string. I'm okay with that. But the immediate backup from Jimmy, I want someone who's played meaningful snaps, preferably a veteran, and I think that will definitely help the Niners immensely. Let's see. JV says, who would you draft at quarterback? Let's see. If I had my druthers, I wouldn't want to draft a quarterback in the first round. So obviously that, my options are limited at that point. But, Kellen Mond, Trask, those are good options. Trey Lance, if he's still available after the first round, that would be interesting. But I don't think we should go up into the top 3. I can't lie though; it will be exciting if we went into the top 3, because who do the Niners value as, the best quarterback prospect in the NFL? We don't know. If let's say if the Niners trade up to 2, let's just say hypothetically, and Trevor Lawrence is off the board, the Niners can go in any direction. They could go with Zach Wilson. They could go with Justin Fields. They could go with Trask. Like, there's so many options they could go if they get into the top 3. So what's intriguing is not only they have the balls to trade up into the top 3. That's intriguing, but also who do they see? Who does Shanahan see? Because this is Shanahan's pick. If the Niners get a quarterback in the top 3, this is Shanahan's pick. This is his pick. So I'm eager to see who Shanahan thinks is the top prospect quarterback in the coming out of the draft. So that's what I'm very intrigued by, because Shanahan, supposedly he's got an infatuation with Cousins. He liked Beathard so much that he traded up to get Beathard. That didn't work out. Mullins, didn't really work out. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see who Shanahan's next guy is. That's what I'm intrigued by. 49ers Ultimate Report, sleeper quarterback day 3, Davis Mills from Stanford. All right. Haven't seen much tape of Davis Mills, but he's a local kid out of the Bay Area from Stanford. So we'll see. Yeah, usually, Stanford has developed solid quarterbacks. Well, I guess the biggest name is Andrew Luck. He had an excellent career, but injuries derailed his career. So yeah, I'm curious to see where Mills lands, and especially if he's a day 3 selection, that would be right in line with the Niners if we haven't drafted a quarterback up to that point. So looks like Trey says he likes Kyle Trask. So if we trade up into the top 3, he thinks we should get Kyle Trask. That's interesting. William says we cut or trade Jimmy. I heard from. Yeah, I mean, that's still an option. I just think so. Let's say, William, if we cut or trade Jimmy, who do you think should start? Game 1 next year. If we cut or trade Jimmy, who do you think we should start? Do you think it should be the rookie quarterback we draft? I mean, I still feel, I don't know about you, William, but I still feel we're a contending team. And normally on a contending team, you don't have a rookie quarterback come in. I mean, I guess one of the rare exceptions was Big Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. But I think they got him not in the top 5. It might have been between like a 7th and like 15th pick. They got Big Ben Roethlisberger, but those selections are usually far and few between, because normally you don't draft a rookie quarterback on a contending team. Who do you think though? Who do you think would be our starting quarterback if Jimmy gets cut or traded? William Dudley says, I heard reports the Pats still want Jimmy. Yeah, but they re-signed Cam Newton. They finally surrounding Cam Newton with some weapons, so he should play much better this year with the Pats. But I mean, if the Pats trade for Jimmy, who's going to be our starter? And why would the Pats still want Jimmy if they got Cam? I mean, there's no way they're going to pay 2 quarterbacks. Let's see, Cam is making what, 13 mil, and Jimmy's making what, 26. There's no way the Patriots are going to pay what, north of 35 mil in salaries just for the quarterback. I don't think that's going to happen. We are talking about Bill Belichick here. He's not known for spending money. So I know this year was kind of the outlier where he spent, he was spending, but usually that's not the case. So it's like Derpy Boy says, I don't think the Niners will draft a quarterback with their first round pick because recently they have been drafting defensive players with their early picks. Yeah, that's a good point. Armstead, first round pick. Buckner, first round pick. Kinlaw, first round pick. Solomon Thomas out of Stanford, a first round pick. Hopefully, we don't get another defensive lineman in the first round. I'd be shocked by that because Lynch has signed a few veteran free agents on that defensive line, and right now I would say that's not a big enough need in the first round. I would say it's more likely we get a defensive end in free agency, or maybe a defensive pass rusher later in the draft, maybe day 3. But good point. Let's see. CG says William Dudley. I don't think we'll trade Jimmy this year. Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think so. The only way I see that happening is if we get Deshaun Watson, but I don't know. I don't think that'd be a good idea to trade for Deshaun at this point. Let's see. CG says we'll probably draft a quarterback to develop. Yeah, I agree. There are a lot of quarterbacks out there. I'm intrigued to see who Shanahan feels he can get the most out of, who Shanahan feels he can mold into the quarterback that he wants. And it's like JV says, Mac Jones is going to be a young Big Ben. We'll see, JV. I just haven't seen many Bama quarterbacks do it in the NFL. I don't know what it is. Alabama creates great offensive linemen, defensive linemen, running backs. Running backs, it's been kind of shaky. The one that stands out is Mark Ingram. He's been excellent. I think Derrick Henry went to Bama too, so those are the two greatest. But Bama produces a lot of players, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but quarterback for some reason just hasn't panned out in the NFL. CG says, Kellen Mond is who I want. I was on the trash train till I saw Mond. Okay. Yeah, and I don't think Kellen Mond is projected to be a first-round pick, so he could be an option for the Niners in the later rounds. I'm down with that. Yeah, I'm down. I guess the grand slam would be trading up into the top 3. Even though I think we shouldn't do that, it would be exciting as hell. I can't lie. That would be exciting as hell if we trade him to the top 3 because I want to see who Shanahan thinks is the best quarterback prospect. That's what Trevor Lawrence will be gone. Who does Shanahan think? This is Shanahan's pick if we trade him to the top 3. So I'm intrigued by that alone. And best case scenario, if we do that, whoever Shanahan decides, they'll learn behind Jimmy G at least the first year. That's what I think would be the best option if we went that route. But I think we should stand pat, get the best cornerback available. But we'll see what happens. Looks like William says if they can get a good backup, I can see them cutting Jimmy G or trading him. That's why the Niners are looking for a bridge quarterback. No, that's a great point, William. But what bridge quarterbacks are left, baby? I mean, Dalton went to the Bears. Tyrod Taylor went to the Texans. Fitz Magic went to the Washington football team. What other good bridge quarterbacks are out there? I mean, Flacco ain't even good, but he got picked up by the Eagles. So unless you think we should trade for Darnold, have him start, or trade for Minshew and have him start, yeah, they just haven't proven enough to me. Jimmy G at his high, Super Bowl, baby. At Jimmy G's high. That's where we went, Super Bowl. The other players, they ain't done squat, baby. So, but they also haven't played in Shanahan's system. They haven't played with his skill guys. But I'm more comfortable with what Jimmy G can bring because that's what I've seen. My 2 eyes. That's what I've seen, William. And I don't know what the other guys have done. Well, they haven't done much because they're rumored to be traded. There's a reason why those teams, are rumored to get rid of those players. Minshew is probably going to get traded. Darnold, we don't know yet. We don't know if he's going to get traded or if the Jets are still sold on him. We don't know yet. So 49ers Ultimate Report. He said average 40 time is 4.4, 4.5. 4.68 NFL teammates. Exactly. Yeah. You may not think it, but 49ers Ultimate Report, great point. A 4.5 through a 4.68 through NFL standards, that's a big difference. That's a huge difference in NFL standards because everybody, like 49ers Ultimate Report, the elite players, the skill guys, your linebackers, your safeties, your corners, even defensive ends, they're running 4.4 through 4.5. So they can catch Mac Jones if he's running the 4.6. And he ran that 40 on his pro day, probably no pads, no helmet, like running in a straight line. How is he going to perform when the defenders are running faster than him, running after him in pads, in helmet, everything? Like, it's a different story. So 4.68 for a quarterback, it ain't great. He's not slow, but he's not faster than the defenders he's going to go up against in the NFL. So looks like Kelt says, tough, bro. Expand on that, Kelt. What are you talking about? Looks like JV says, would you take Dalton for Jimmy G? Well, Dalton just signed with the Chicago Bears, and he's projected to be the starter in Chicago. So, yeah, there's no way Chicago's going to trade him for Jimmy G. But before Dalton signed with the Bears, I was interested in having Andy Dalton being a backup to Jimmy G. I'm down with that. If we would have brought in Dalton to back up Jimmy, but unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. Looks like CG says, I got a feeling it's Kyle Trask who will be drafted. Yeah. I mean, we really don't know. And I say that because, the Niners aren't going to tell us, obviously, who they think the best quarterback is. We probably won't find that out until after the draft. But this is the same regime that passed up on Mahomes, passed up on Deshaun. So who knows? We'll see what happens. CG says Davis Mills, the quarterback out of Stanford's got wheels. All right. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says you forgot John Elway. Oh, yeah. Of course. John Elway. He graduated from Stanford, was a great quarterback. But yeah, I guess my point was that Stanford hasn't produced that many great quarterbacks in the NFL besides Luck and Elway. So that's like two quarterbacks in the last that's like two quarterbacks in the last 40 years. So, but yeah, thank you. I forgot about John Elway, but thank you though. Just like 49ers Ultimate Report says, CG, I saw Mills tape, great in the pocket and above average deep throw and can scramble, but project pick. So yeah, he kind of sounds like Trey Lance. It's a project. They're raw. They're going to have to be in the system for years in order to contribute. And the Niners, y'all see it? We still a contending team. I don't really want a project quarterback in the first round. I want to pick a player in the first round that can contribute immediately. That's what I want. So, and I think if we get the best corner, they can contribute immediately. They could learn behind Verrett and Mosley. And, if those guys stay healthy all year, the young corner could come in, when we're in like dime coverage and we have four cornerbacks, he could be the fourth corner. Looks like CG says we could develop Sam Ehlinger or Ian Book later round. Yeah, I think there's no doubt that the Niners will draft quarterback in the later rounds of the draft if we don't get one in the first round. Because some fans say, hey, we need to move off Jimmy G or at least look to the future and get a quarterback with our first pick. And then I'm in the camp of I think we should maybe get a quarterback in the later rounds of the draft and get an impact player in the first round with our first pick. It's like Kelps Chronicle says, I can see Mon getting hurt. Trey the Truth, Trey Lance that is, and Trask are the ones, real talk. Yeah, and Trey Lance and Trask, I don't know if they're projected to be first round picks. I don't think. The mock drafts I've seen, I haven't seen them being drafted in the first round, but you never know because there could be. I'm trying to think, are there any teams in the later rounds of the draft that could, the Patriots, they're probably going to draft a quarterback. Where are they picking this year? They're probably picking between 15 to 23 because they weren't a playoff team. So, but they weren't, they won more than 2 games. So Patriots could be interested in getting a quarterback. The Bears, they could draft a quarterback. I'm trying to think who else could possibly get a quarterback. Um, Pittsburgh Steelers, they could draft a quarterback. So there's a chance that Trask could go in the first round because there are quarterback needy teams later in the draft behind the 49ers. Let's see. JV says if the Niners do trade to 2 for Zach Wilson, he's a good young quarterback who can fit in well with the offense. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. It seems like Lawrence will definitely go first overall in the draft, and then it seems like Wilson and Fields are the next 2 best options. I don't see how Wilson is better than Fields. I'll be totally honest. I haven't seen much tape of Wilson. I saw Fields in the national championship game, and then also in the game before that, and he looked pretty good. But yeah, a lot of people have been saying that Zach Wilson is better than Fields. So yeah, we'll see what happens if the Niners do trade up. That would be very intriguing. CG says, not sure about Wilson. One good year during the COVID season. I kind of questioned him. Previous seasons, he was below average. Interesting points. Yeah, I mean, the COVID year was, it was a terrible year for a lot of people, and sports as well. Yeah, I don't know. It could be that the first few years in college, CG, he struggled, and now it kind of all came together during his last year in college. I mean, that's possible, but at least he started though, right? At least he's played a lot of games in college with Wilson. Because there are some quarterbacks like Justin Fields. He hasn't. This is his first year starting with Ohio State, so he only had a handful of games to play, and at least Wilson has started multiple games. Let's see, Celts Chronicles. Alex Smith bridge to Lance, reminiscent to Alex to Cat. Yeah, I don't know about all that. So you think Alex Smith can replicate what Jimmy G does? I mean, Alex Smith had weapons last year with the Washington football team, and their offense looked putrid. So I don't know what Alex Smith left. If this was Alex Smith when he left, when he was traded, or I should say when Pat Mahomes was given the starting quarterback job in KC, if it was that Alex Smith, so that was probably like 5 years ago, then yeah, I would say okay. Maybe Alex Smith could come in, compete with Jimmy, and then we'll make a decision. But I don't know what Alex Smith still has left. So looks like Celt Chronicles. Woo-wee. That's cow. Looks like Celt Chronicles says Garoppolo ain't tough. Wow. So disrespectful. I guess it depends on how you measure toughness. I'm never going to question a football player's toughness. But, to me, I feel like, he definitely ain't soft. Garoppolo, I don't think he's soft. I don't think that's the case at all. Are there tougher players in the NFL? Sure, but I feel like part of toughness is having the respect of the locker room. And it seems like all his teammates respect Jimmy G. And I guess you're saying part of the reason he isn't tough is because of the injuries, and that's kind of. I mean, I don't know. That's debatable. But yeah, I think Jimmy G is the guy, and we shall see what happens. Let's see. CG says Zach Wilson is all hype. I don't know about him. Yeah, we'll see, man. Some people are on the Zach Wilson camp, and then some people Kyle Trask. But we'll see what happens. Looks like CG says. I'm assuming you're talking about Zach Wilson. So he's 6'3", 209 pounds. He needs to bulk up. Yeah, I mean, once he gets in the NFL locker room and NFL weight program, yeah, he could easily add on at least 15 to 20 pounds easy because he's 6'3", so he can carry. He could be like 230, and he could still be, agile and quick, and still be a good player in the NFL. Looks like Kelch says Lance will produce immediately. Watch. I was wondering when you were going to talk about your boy, Trey Lance. Yeah, I don't know about that. He seems raw. He seems raw. Seems like he would definitely take some time to mature, to learn the playbook. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some guys are just, more ready coming out of college. I don't know about Trey Lance. Doesn't seem like he would be ready right out the shoot. But even if we do draft a rookie quarterback, I still think they need to sit behind a vet, whether that be, I think it should be Jimmy G, but some people were saying, Alex Smith, or even, another backup quarterback. Let's see, Brandon the King, thanks for coming through. He says, hey, Jay, in the Bay around since 100 subscribers. Glad to see your channel growing. Niner Nation, rise up. Thanks for the shout out, Brandon the King, man. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you joining the stream, baby. Looks like JV says, Fields give me Trubisky vibes. Ugh. And those aren't good vibes. Those are not good vibes at all. Those are terrible vibes. But, Trubisky, I think he only started like 1 year in college. And obviously, if that draft, was done over again, Trubisky wouldn't have gone as high. But I guess hindsight is 2020. Looks like Derpy Boy says, what I haven't seen from Garoppolo is chemistry with his receivers and tight ends. I get that he was injured, but he should have built the chemistry throughout our Super Bowl run. I would say he has chemistry. I would say with Jimmy, sometimes he locks on to his receivers, and then sometimes, what separates great quarterbacks from average quarterbacks is usually they can throw the receiver open. So Jimmy's looking to the right, and Jimmy's looking to the left. When if a receiver is running, let's say a 10-yard out, when he's at 8, maybe when he's at 7 to 8 yards, the quarterback needs to start throwing the ball. Because if you wait until the receiver gets open to throw the ball, usually the corner, this is the NFL, this ain't college. If you wait until the receiver's open to throw the ball, usually the corner's already there, and that's why there's interceptions. So I think Jimmy could do that better. He could, throw the receiver open. I think that would definitely help the receiver and the entire offense. And also Jimmy, of course, the interceptions. But also, I think this is the offensive line. I don't know if he trusts his offensive line. He looks a little skittish in the pocket. Hopefully, he'll look much better with the revamped offensive line. But I think that's been a big deal. I don't know if he trusts his offensive line, but I'm sold on Jimmy. I think he should be good with us for at least another year, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see how he plays, and we'll see if he can stay healthy. It's like JV says, Lance will be a flash in the pan type of quarterback, kind of like Tebow. Yeah, that could be true. I guess we'll see what comes to fruition. Looks like Kelt says, regardless of our disagreements, Jay in the Bay is the man. I got to bounce. Stay blessed. Yay! Thanks for coming through, Kelts. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate your content. Keep producing that Niner content. I enjoy your YouTube channel. And I think that was, let's see, I talked about Tevin Coleman, talked about Minshew. Yeah, I think that was all I had planned for today's show. I appreciate everyone coming through to the show. If you got any more comments, let me know. Y'all know it in them comments. And appreciate everyone joining the stream. Thanks for subscribing to your boy, Jay in the Bay. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says, best quarterback know where to throw football 3 seconds early before the wide receiver is at the point of the catch. Exactly. In high school and even college, you can wait till a receiver's open to throw the ball. But the best quarterbacks, you have to anticipate the throw. Not only do you get to the line of scrimmage, your center points out, okay, there's a middle linebacker, or sometimes the quarterback points out where the middle linebacker is. When you get to the line of scrimmage, whether you're under center, shotgun, whatever, you have to know what the defense is doing. Are they playing man? Are they playing zone? That's something that the quarterback has to do. And then once the receiver run their routes, you have to diagnose, okay, well, you already know at the beginning of the play who should be the number one target based on what Shanahan says. If Shanahan says, hey, Kittle should be the number one target on this option, he should be able to get open on a quick slant, then obviously that's probably the receiver you're going to look for first. Or you may not. To throw off the defense, you may look at Debo outside or Ayuk on the other side. But great point, 49ers Ultimate Report. Best quarterbacks know to throw the football, 3 seconds early before the wide receiver even looks for the ball. So that way, by the time the wide receiver, he runs a 10-yard out, Jimmy should be throwing the ball, maybe about the 8-yard mark. And then by the time the receiver looks for the ball should already be there. And that's what the best quarterbacks do. And also they can read the coverage. They know what the defense is doing based on tendencies, based on formation and things like that. And I don't think we've seen the best of Jimmy. I think Jimmy can be better. With the revamped offensive line, the weapons we got on offense, I think Jimmy can be better, or he can be just as good as he was in 2019. And that's what I think Shanahan and Lynch believe. If Jimmy can be just as good as he was in 2019, then the 49ers will have a successful year and a long playoff run. And that's why Jimmy G is still the quarterback here. But we just got to improve the quarterback room, that's for sure. And I think we're good with Jimmy G at this point, I think. So, but hopefully he can improve with the offensive line and the weapons. But hour 45, this went by pretty fast. And I appreciate everyone coming on through to the stream. If you haven't, make sure you follow your boy, Jay in the Bay, on YouTube, IG, and Twitter. And I appreciate everyone coming through. I appreciate everyone's comments. I'll probably be streaming again. Let's see, today's Thursday. Most likely, it'll probably be Sunday. I'll probably stream. It seems like a lot of people are off on Sunday. And hopefully there'll be some more 49 news we can discuss. And appreciate everyone coming on. I guess I'll be signing out now. And everyone, thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. See y'all later.